Hello everyone and welcome back to Farmer Joe Homesteading. Finally got my gimbal fixed so I can have a little bit better angles with the camera instead of freehanding it or propping it beside things. So we'll see how it goes and see how it holds up with my quick fix solution. So this week's update is going to be a bit brief again. There hasn't been a whole lot of new things happening. We did get snow. I told you guys in the last video that snow is a possibility, but it melts right away. So we get big flakes, it lands, and then it melts away, which is pretty normal, especially since the ground is not frozen yet. It's just not quite wet enough to actually or not quite frozen enough to actually stick, so everything's just really wet. So we did last night have a really bad storm blow over, very high winds, we had some things smash, and really crazy downpour of rain. So we are finally getting a lot of rain. September we didn't have any rain at all, so it is nice to get a bit of rain, but it would be nice now that it's starting to cool off if it would just start freezing and the snow would come. My biggest concern is snow is a really great insulator, and we've had a couple winters before where November is really bitter cold and we get the really cold temperatures, and it'll be like -20 for weeks with no snow on the ground. And so I find that those winters seem to drag out more and seem to be a lot colder. I would rather have 3 feet of snow on the ground because it insulates and keeps things warmer. But the birds are happy. There's puddles everywhere, so the geese are going nuts. So that's always really fun and entertaining because they haven't had puddles in a while. They did, I did notice yesterday I didn't have a goose egg. So I think they might finally be starting to slow down now that the snow is really setting in. And the turkeys are either laying somewhere I can't find or they are done for the season. So that's good. And I noticed that the pullets are starting to slow down in production, and I think that that is because of the daylight. We are losing daylight very quickly now. It's usually dark by between 6:30 and 7 p.m. and then it doesn't get light till between 7:30 and 8 a.m. So it's dark for about 12 to 13 hours a day now. So I'm hoping that we can put off putting a light in the coop for a little bit longer, but we'll see how it goes. The girls all seem to still be doing really well. We're gonna be doing a little bit more prep this week, just getting everything ready for winter because we still need to put some plastic up in the one coop on the windows. I'm pretty sure I didn't cut. There was one year it was really hot and I had to cut all the plastic down on my windows. So then this time of year I had to go back and either patch the plastic or re-plastic the windows. But I think this year I didn't worry about it. The birds were outside a lot more and it wasn't as hot of a summer as it was the summer before. So I'm thinking it's probably fine. The goats are starting to get their winter hair, so I have started milking with the cheesecloth again, which I probably should have been doing the whole time, but for a period there we were busy and I was lazy. So I'm just finally starting to milk with the cheesecloth on again, just because there's so much more hair because they're getting their long shaggy winter coats. So that's been good. The girls are still consistently having a heat every 21 days, which is good. That's what they're supposed to do, but it makes it a bit miserable for milking. I'm milking Annie right now, and the girls, like the other girls can be rebred, but Annie cannot be rebred, so we're gonna have to suffer through the heat with her for the next year, and that's okay. But it is kind of handy because I milk twice a day, like with Mama, I do know when her heats are coming for the most part, and so it will make it easier when I'm ready to rebreed her, because I'm with her twice every day for a good amount of time, and so I kind of know when her cycles are, so that'll make it easier. This weekend, the twins, Luna and Star, will be heading over to the neighbor's house to find a boyfriend and hopefully breed back. We decided to breed them to a Nubian. And so they are half Nubian because Big Mama's their mom. She's a Saanen, and their dad is a Nubian. So we're gonna breed them back to Nubians. So we'll have they'll be 3/4 Nubian, 1/4 Saanens. So I'm excited. I really like the floppy ears. I think the floppy ears are really cute, and their ears are kind of half flopped. They're not quite as floppy as a Nubian, so I'm really looking forward to babies from them, because I know that they produce color, because they both produced some really pretty colors this last year, and so I'm really excited to see what we get out of those girls for the color, because Big Mama just throws white. So speaking of Big Mama, she has been doing really good too. We're getting a lot of milk. We are planning on breeding her back too, but I'm actually planning on delaying it, which I think I've mentioned in another video. And she will also be getting bred back to a Nubian Billy, unless I, by some miracle, find a Saanen in our area. Saanens have been really, really hard to find. We got her about 9 hours from our farm. We drove 9 hours one way to pick her up, and then another 9 hours the next day to drive her home. So it's been really difficult. So I'm hoping, I'd really love to breed her to a Saanen probably next year or the year after, because I want to keep a purebred Saanen daughter off of her. She's been a fantastic milk goat. She has obviously good milk lines. We don't know any background on her, but her milk is fantastic. She's got lots of milk, so I'd love to breed her to a really good purebred Billy and get a beautiful daughter off of her. It's always a bit of a chance you take, because you never know what they're gonna have. Mama, you're blocking the camera now. You're a bit of a rotter. After I attached the camera there, I remembered that Big Mama always swings her hip to that one side that I put the camera on, but it was too late to change it. So one other thing with the goats is, because it is dropping temperature at night, I am having to bring my soaked grain into the house and soak in the house, which is kind of a pain, but it just freezes if it's outside. So there's been a few times where I get up in the morning to do chores and the girls' grain is rock solid, and I have to break it apart and stir it to get it to kind of de-thaw before they eat it. So now I'm bringing it into the house. During the day it's still warm enough, it's fine, but for nighttime, now that I'm soaking, like, because we soak the grain and because of the temperatures, it's having to come in. But other than that, it hasn't been too many big adjustments yet with winter coming. So we had gained a lot of new followers with our video on Nigerian versus Saanen, or Saanen versus Nigerian. I can't remember which way I did it. But if you haven't seen it, make sure you do. It was a really cool video where I compared Big Mama and Annie to each other, just comparing their personality traits, different things about their breed, and comparing their milk and the differences in milking them. So it was a really, really fun video to put together. I wanted to do a little update on that too, because it's been quite a few months since I made that video. Big Mama is producing a lot more cream now that she is further into her lactation, and so we are starting to get more of a cream line on our gallon jars, about enough that I probably could start getting a separator, but I haven't put any effort or money into investing into a separator yet, and so we probably won't for this year, and maybe next year I'll start looking into it, because we will have the 3 milk goats in milk next summer. So for now, I'm not too worried about it. And so, yeah, she is producing a bit more cream. Annie is still producing about the same amount. She's actually been very consistent on the amount she gives us, which is usually like between 1.5 cups to 2 cups of milk per milking, which averages out to just under 1 liter of milk a day typically from her. Now keep in mind, she is past her prime. She's 8. And so I'm sure with younger Nigerian dwarfs, you probably get more milk than what we're getting from her, but this is her final year in milk. And so, yeah, I think she's doing pretty good for being an 8-year-old goat that almost died this spring. So, we're keeping her around. We'll keep milking her for a while. And then, yeah, Big Mama is always our big top producer. So, yeah, we're looking forward to spring and new baby goats and all the fun milking. And I'm hoping this winter to start getting better with the cheese making. And so we'll see what happens. I just realized that I forgot to actually add the goat tex, that's like the sweet grainy feed, to their grain this morning, and that's probably why they were a bit antsy this morning, because they were not getting their normal feed. Because I'm soaking the feed in the house, I have to come back out to the feed shed and add the grain, and I forgot that step today. So it's going to be a bit of an adjustment getting used to the new schedule. In rabbit news, big progress on the new rabbit hutch, and I am so happy with how this one turned out. I did not film this one because it is pretty much the exact same design, just different scrap wood as I did this other one. So check that video out. It is pretty much the same thing, just a little bit smaller. And so I need to get, this is going to be the top, and I'm going to put the tin on it, but I forgot to get hinges in town yesterday. So I'm going to have to go to town today and get some hinges so that I can put the top on hinges like I did with the other side, because I do like that the whole top can come up and open as well. So once this is done, then I can start getting our bucks in there. So I'm hoping to do that really soon, because poor Peter Rabbit gets pretty wet in his little cage. It's a really good summer cage, but it's not a very warm winter cage. So hopefully get this done here soon.
Good morning, Franklin. Oh, such a puffy, handsome boy. You are. Oh, there she is.
Plan with Shadow and Franklin is to move Franklin out and put him into the new rabbit hutch when it's finished. And they've been together for just over a week, and they get along so cute. They cuddle together, they groom each other. So that's why I've been leaving them. But I'm hoping that she's probably bred, because they've been together for a week. So I'm keeping my fingers crossed. We're gonna move him out probably later this week or this weekend, and then she'll have her whole space back and they should be good to go. You guys, the best thing ever, totally made my week. We have been doing the fall chicks. I've been posting about it on our social media, and I think I showed you guys in the last week's video. So we had another batch hatch, and I needed to clean up the chick side of the coop to get the new babies in to the brooder and move the older ones into the new spot. And I'll show you what I did. This board, it's one of my divider boards. I just had thrown in the corner of the chick coop because I didn't need it and it was taking up space. So the plan is to move the older chicks, you can see them in there, they're pretty big, over into this corner so they have more space. And this was so low to the ground, I didn't think there was anything behind it. I knew that some of the black copper marins were laying because their combs have gotten really red, but I wasn't getting any black copper marin eggs in my boxes, and I was so upset because I was worried that maybe some of the cuckoo eggs were actually black copper marin eggs, and they were not where I wanted them color-wise. And then I found this nest. So obviously she's been laying them in here for quite some time, because you can see there's some bigger eggs on top here. All I have on hand is this box to put these in. So I'll be moving. You wanna see?
Oh, the egg.
Is that an egg? That's a chocolate egg. So there is some beautiful eggs in here. This is the black copper marin coloring. And look at the speckle genetics she has. Ooh, guys, I'm so excited. Let me see it again.
Oh,
Yeah. Yeah. So I moved all the big ones except for 3 because they are the pullets and they're quite a bit smaller than the boys. I don't want them competing with food too hard, so I'm gonna leave them in here with the littler ones because they're similar in size, and then they won't have to fight so much for food. Fluffing with each other under the heat. They'll be okay. Those 3 will adjust. That's all I can think of for this week. It's beautiful after the storm, which is great because it was yuck. So I'm glad that the sunshine is coming out. We're gonna have another nice day and hopefully be done with all that high wind. So we will see you guys next week. Make sure you like and subscribe to our channel, and we'll see you guys next time. Beautiful girl. Was it a bit wet? Yeah, was it a bit wet out here? You look so wet. Yeah, you look so wet. Oh no.